Hey there, it's Mindy from simplymindy.com, and today I'm sharing these DIY wooden wall decor pieces. Today's video is a bonus as I am participating in the Look for Less challenge. This is a challenge put on by Yami at the channel The Latina Next Door. Go ahead and check out her channel and the playlist linked in the description box. Her channel is amazing. She does all kinds of DIYs and home renovations and more. So go ahead and check that out. For the Look for Less challenge, we are to find a higher priced item and recreate it for much less. This is what I'm creating here, these carved wooden leaf pieces listed on Kirkland's website for $39.99. I have gone ahead and prepped my wood. I cut 1 by 10 pieces of wood into 12 and 3/4 inch lengths, and I've already sanded and prepped my wood. So what I'm doing here is just adding a thin layer of matte Mod Podge to both of my wood pieces, just on this top surface where I'm going to be stenciling. And I'm doing this to avoid any paint bleeding when I use my stencil, and I'll explain more on that in a little bit. And now that my Mod Podge is completely dry, I'm going to apply I'm going to be doing sort of a reverse stencil. So this is what I cut using my Cricut, but before I show you how to use this, I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick how to do this in Design Space, how to design it if you're interested, or if you're thinking about getting a Cricut, or if you're new to Cricut, here's how to do it. I started with a rectangle shape and I sized it to the size of my wood piece or pieces, and then I found this image with 2 leaves, and these 2 images are attached in one, so I'm going to detach it so that I can resize each of the pieces alone. And I'm going to just go ahead and play with that, size it and place it the way I want it to look on my piece. And once I have that done, I will just duplicate the rectangle shape. And for the second wood piece, I actually found another leaf image in Canva, which I created a PNG file out of. And if you're interested in more details on how to do something like this, or more detailed Cricut Design Space tutorials, let me know in the comments below. I know this one is just going through really quickly just to show you what I'm doing, but if you're interested in something like that, let me know. So once I have that second image in, I'm just going to resize it, and I'm using that same leaf to create that 3-leaf print for the second piece of wood. And then once I have everything the way I want it, I'll just go up to the top right, click Make It, and follow the prompts for my machine. And just a quick note about the wood piece with the 3 leaves. This image I did attach so that the Cricut would cut them exactly where they are. And I cut these out on shelf liner, which I use all the time to make stenciling pieces. It's very cheap to get at Walmart, and it works beautifully for stenciling. To get my leaf images onto my wood, I'm just placing it where I want it, and I'm going to crease that bottom edge and then use that line to cut off that excess that I won't need to use. And I've already prepared this with transfer tape, which I will use to place my decals onto the wood. And even though I'm using my scraper tool to transfer these onto the wood, you'll see in a second, because this shelf liner or vinyl is so thin, you have to be very gentle when removing the transfer tape. So it's going to take just, a little bit of patience to kind of slowly peel the transfer tape and kind of hold any edges that want to come up. And here with my second piece, to get the same look as the Kirklands wall decor piece, I'm taking that second leaf and applying it directly on top of the first one to get that crossover effect. And now for the fun part. After making sure everything is in place and smoothing everything down, make sure none of the pieces are lifting up, I am going to use a black acrylic paint. It's in a satin finish, and you can get these at Walmart for under $1. And I'm going to use a makeup wedge that you can get at Dollar Tree. And the important thing to note here is you want as little paint on your sponge or brush as possible, and you want to dab lightly, and it's best to do a few thin layers rather than doing one thick layer, so to avoid any bleeding, and that just means getting any paint under the vinyl. And I'm going to cover my entire piece of wood using the same technique. And now that my paint is completely dry, I'm going to use my weeding tool to remove the vinyl. Isn't this just so satisfying to watch? So I'll show you in a second the side-by-side look at the Kirklands piece and my piece. Mine cost me nothing to make because I had the wood in my garage. If you were to go to Home Depot or Lowe's to get the wood, you could likely do this for under $10, including the paint, maybe just a little over if you needed the vinyl and everything. But my pieces are proportional to the Kirklands pieces. They are not the same size, but I love how the wood grain is showing through just like in the picture, and the only difference really is theirs is carved and mine isn't, but I think the look is pretty good. Let me know what you think. These are gonna look perfect in my half bath, which I'm gonna be giving a little makeover hopefully soon, but these would work really anywhere in your home, on an entryway wall, living room, on a shelf, 2 separate shelves. These pieces are just, I don't know, I'm just in love with these. Don't forget to check the description box for Yami's channel and her co-host this month, Nicole, at The Week's Nest, and also check out the playlist for all the other awesome DIYs you'll find. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that. Give me a like and leave a comment letting me know what you think. And as always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.